It's opening night in Western New York as the Holy Cross Crusaders take on the Canisius Golden Griffins from the Lecom Harbor Center in downtown Buffalo, New York. Hello everyone and welcome to College Hockey Night in Buffalo. My name is Vinnie Christiano III alongside Jackson Webster, and we have a really exciting matchup on hand between the two teams that played in last year's Atlantic Hockey Championship game. It's a beautiful college hockey night in Buffalo as the Niagara Purple Eagles take the short trip across the bridge to take on the Canisius Golden Griffins from the Lecom Harbor Center in downtown Buffalo, New York. Hello everybody and welcome to College Hockey Night in Buffalo. I'm Vinnie Christiano III alongside Jackson Webster, and the third battle of the bridge between the Griffs and the Purple Eagles is here tonight from the Harbor Center, and it's the end of the regular season series. These teams have already played twice, and it was the Purple Eagles who had the advantage in both of those games. We will take a look at some highlights from the last time we played at the KeyBank rink here in downtown Buffalo. And Jackson, it was a quick start for Niagara, who was able to get on the board about 15 minutes into the first period, and they held the lead for basically the entire game. It's a shiny college hockey night in Buffalo as the Clarkson Golden Knights take on the Canisius Golden Griffins from the Lecom Harbor Center in downtown Buffalo, New York on a brisk Saturday evening in the 716. Welcome everybody to College Hockey Night in Buffalo. My name is Vinnie Christiano III, and tonight's non-conference game presented by Franco's Pizza comes after Canisius played a non-conference game yesterday against St. Lawrence, and tonight against the Knights, the Griffs are going to have one player specifically to focus on, one of the young guns in this Golden Knights lineup. His name is Ryan Taylor. On the other hand, 2 has been the magic number for the Griffs. They are 6-2-1 when letting in 2 goals or less, which they just did against the RIT Tigers on Tuesday night. They are winless when scoring 2 or less goals. You obviously assume you're not going to win many games scoring 0, but this hasn't been a team that's been able to eke out those defensive victories yet. Johnny Wesco opened the scoring with the man advantage. Luke Milmock added the insurance marker right at the top of the crease there. Canisius answered back pretty quickly as Robert Kincaid buried one on the short side, and then Randy Hernandez in the third period got a power play goal at the tail end of a 5-minute-long power play. That forced the game to overtime, where Josef Misak was able to bury a goal that was right on the doorstep just a couple seconds into that extra frame, getting Niagara the 2 points and the advantage in the standings, as these two teams were tied going into that game. That rivalry and battle of the bridge advantage goes to the Perps, but they also have the advantage now as we look at our Delta Sonic standings, which are also pretty pertinent going into this weekend's series. Niagara has a game in hand on the Griffs and the tiebreaker by virtue of sweeping the season series. The two teams we're going to see this weekend, Bentley and Canisius, also pretty similar in the standings, but on the outside looking in, as those top 5 teams above the cut line will get a bye in the opening round. If Canisius can play a clean first period, that would certainly give them an advantage. They're 6-2-1 this season when leading after 20 minutes. They've trailed or tied after the first period in 5 of their last 7 games. A fast start could be crucial for the Griffs in getting a victory in this series. Part of the reason they started slow against Niagara, they had 3 penalties in the first period versus Niagara on Tuesday, Jackson. The Falcons of Bentley have the second best power play in Atlantic hockey.
The Griffs definitely aren't happy with the result on Saturday night, but they are able to come out and beat an Air Force team that has been so good on the first night of doubleheaders so far this season.
Yeah, we talked about that on the broadcast. The Falcons have been statistically one of the best teams in Atlantic hockey this season. You saw there they got the extra point in the shootout, but Canisius able to get 4 on the series, and in addition to the win versus Robert Morris on Tuesday, they had a pretty good week. Part of that was because of Matteo Giampa, who's had a fantastic season so far and was named the Atlantic Hockey Rookie and Player of the Month for November. These are just 2 of his goals versus the Colonials on Tuesday in the 5-1 victory. He has been on a tear as of late. There are other games happening right now in the Atlantic Hockey Association. We won't get into the scores of those. You'll have to keep tuned into the broadcast to find out. 2 players that have had big impacts on their teams this season are our top guns tonight, presented by Catalyst Fitness. Carter Wilkie, the reigning Atlantic Hockey Player of the Year and the preseason Player of the Year, against Matteo Giampa, who has been one of the best freshmen in the entire country.
Yeah, Matteo Giampa came in and really took a stranglehold in the conference right off the hop. He's done such a great job. As far as Carter Wilkie goes, he's proven. He knows that he can be in the top of the conference, and he's going to continue to do that going into the playoffs.
Both these players, Hobie Baker nominees in the top of the conference in goals and in points as well. As we move on to our keys to the game, presented by Cleve Hill Auto and Tire. For the RIT Tigers, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Last night, a 9-2 victory over the Blue and Gold, including 54 shots on goal and 96 shot attempts. Jackson, that works out to 1.6 shots per minute. That is really efficient from the Tigers.
Yeah, absolutely. When you can get that much rubber on a goalie, more than a couple are going to go in, and it ultimately resulted in 9. You can't complain with 9 goals.
Power kill for the RIT Tigers. They have the #1 power play in Atlantic hockey and the #4 penalty kill. That is one thing that they do really well. Canisius special teams struggled a little bit so far this season. For the Griffs, just got to reset against the Tigers last night. Didn't play the game they wanted to. One way to get better shots. Puck drop coming up shortly, as well as a little more conversation about last night's affair when we come back to College Hockey Night in Buffalo, which you are watching on Flow Hockey. Season one area they certainly could look to improve in this non-conference matchup is on the power play. Their power play is at 13.2%, which is 56th in the entire NCAA and 10th in the ECAC. Canisius, a just above 80% penalty killing team. For the Griffs, a point that we have continued to focus on all season long is getting goaltending. After Jake Barchevsky left and transferred to Michigan, they're looking for a #1 option between the pipes. Right now, a team save percentage of .891. The last key for the Golden Griffins is be disciplined. Not only do they lead the Atlantic Hockey Association in penalties taken per game in 5.42, one area of emphasis Trevor Large would like them to focus on is making sure to get the little things as well as the basics right. That includes things like winning one-on-one puck battles on the wall, winning face-offs, which we talked about yesterday, and also just making sure to have correct positioning in the defensive and offensive zones. We'll see how these two teams match up against each other as we approach puck drop here on Flow Hockey from the Lecom Harbor Center next.